One, two, three. Hello and welcome to episode 15 of the Soccer Podcast Show. We're joined by your host today. My name is Paul and I'm joined by my co-host Noel. So welcome, Noel. Thanks for joining us.
How are you doing, Paul?
Now, preview of the Champions League second leg semi-final. So on tomorrow night, Tuesday the 16th of May, we have the second leg of the Milan derby. Both teams in the same stadium, I keep calling them, but Inter Milan won the first leg 2-0. So they have a 2-0 advantage against their right neighbours, AC Milan. So are they more than halfway there, Inter Milan?
Yeah, I think so, Paul. I wasn't able to see much of the game now, Paul, but what I did see, AC Milan were atrocious for the first 10-15 minutes. I mean, the defending was very, very on AC Milan, like if we go through the history, but probably based on this season, it probably might have been a surprise. They've been very poor in the league this season. They're defending champions, and they've defended their title with a bit of a whimper, really, to be quite honest with you. Napoli have sailed through. But fantastic goal from Edin Dzeko, though. He's probably the forgotten man at Manchester City there about 10, 11 years ago. He got goals. Everybody remembers Sergio Aguero's goal against QPR that won the league title in 2012, the last minute. But it was Dzeko that got the goal that brought him back level. So, and he was always a constant feature of that team. But it's just that he moved on eventually. I think he moved on to Roma, if I'm not mistaken, and then he's gone into Milan. And he's 37 years of age. He's still banging in a few goals. He's starting ahead of Romelu Lukaku. So that shows maybe the level of Lukaku's at the moment. But yeah, fantastic 10-15 minutes from Inter Milan. They could have got this tie over and done with in the first half. They got the 2 goals. They hit the post. AC Milan did come into a little bit in the second half. They hit the post as well. But Inter Milan were fully valued for that 2-0 win. And I think they're about 70% there, Paul. AC Milan, obviously, it goes without saying, they have to score. If there's going to be goals in this game, they have to score the first goal. At least make it interesting. Because Inter Milan, in Europe, when you think of it, Inter Milan have been as good as AC Milan. AC Milan have the pedigree, have the history. No, AC Milan haven't been in the Champions League final since 2007, if I'm not mistaken. The year they won it with Liverpool, against Liverpool 2-1. They need the first goal. It doesn't have to be too early in the game. If it could be 0-0 after 30-40 minutes, I don't think. But they have to get that first goal. If not the first half, it has to be at the start of the second half, because I think they'll have to defend much better than what they did in the first half. That goes without saying. But that first goal is key. If Inter Milan get it, it's all over.
Yeah, now again, we're stressing there is no away goals, because in the old system, Inter Milan will have 2 away goals, but it's a 2-0 lead. So it's not insurmountable. If Milan can get the first goal, even just after half time themselves, then it'll change the momentum they'll be in it. But the big thing for AC Milan is not to concede. That's the first thing anyway. So even to get to half time, 0-0, they're still in the game. But there's no away goals in play.
Yeah, because if Inter Milan go in 1-0 up at half time, it just kills the tie completely. AC Milan, I don't know at the weekend. Did Rafael Leao start? He was out injured for the first leg. He's a massive part of their attack. He's a Portuguese winger. He's probably he's definitely one of their best players. He was a huge miss for Giroud there last Wednesday night, because Giroud lies in his crosses, his pace. If you think back to Giroud's goal against Napoli, it was basically Rafael Leao was just brilliant run, and it was just a tackle for Giroud, but it was all the work was done by Rafael Leao. So if he can be fit, I just don't know the way injury update at the moment. Did he play at the weekend? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
but they badly need him this Tuesday night against Inter Milan to have any hope.
Yeah, so let's go. Are you going to go for Inter Milan or what?
I think it'll be a 1-1 draw, Paul.
Yeah. So Inter Milan go 2. Now we look at the second semi-final. This is more tightly 1-1. Man City got a 1-1 draw on the Bernabeu, and again the away goals don't come in, so it's dead level 1-1. So this is probably be favourites. You'd expect them to get at least 1 or 2 goals. So, but I wouldn't rule out Real Madrid away from home.
No, I wouldn't. But this is such a tasty game now, Paul. I thought Manchester City completely controlled the first half, but somehow we did 1-0 down. Real Madrid can do that to you, though. I mean, I think their first shot on target, the first shot of any note was the goal. But Manchester City controlled the game, passed the. Actually, look, Real Madrid looked very, very ordinary. And I think Courtois was forced into a few saves, a few long range shots, nothing too major. But if there was a goal coming, it was Manchester City's coming. But then, of course, they were a bit sloppy. I think Rodri gave away the ball, gave Benzema a chance, but they sort of got the crowd up. I just think City will do it, possibly 2-3-1. I just feel that I just not been convinced by Real Madrid. They always seem to put it out of the bag, Paul, but I think eventually your luck runs out. And I think City are good enough to be definitely good enough to beat this Real Madrid side. If Haaland's on form, and I think Pep would be relentless, as I said in the previous episode about the league. This is the one that this is the one that Pep was brought in to win. If they don't win it, then you could say with Arsenal bottling the league, you could accuse City of the same thing with the Champions League. So this is huge for Manchester City, and being at home, being 1-1, being again like it's the previous season, the 1-4-3 against Real Madrid. The fact that Real Madrid would have to be level to the first extra time or anything like that, being the second leg and being 1-1. I think that goal that De Bruyne got in the Bernabeu will turn out to be massive. A bit of controversy was the ball out for a throw in or not. Look, that's neither here nor there now. It's all about Wednesday night, and I just think City will do it. I think
Now the pressure will be on the supporters, and what you said there, you're 100% correct. This is what Guardiola is brought in for. All the Man City supporters know that. They're all aware this is the one. This is the holy grail, as they call it. They want. So that will create its own momentum or its own pressure. And if the game is 0-0, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, will some of the Manchester City crowd that maybe they're not used to, a lot of them would be maybe, I know Manchester City are a great supporter club to always were, even when they were going poor, but some of the, we'll call them the lucky Charlies, are only joining now, will say they might start getting a bit nervous and they could go onto the pitch. So it could be a psychological battle as well for Man City. Can they handle it?
That's the question. And in the past, Paul, they haven't. In the second leg last year against Real Madrid, I saw something I thought I'd never see with a Pep Guardiola side. They actually played long ball for the last 2 or 3 minutes when they needed the goals to force penalties in extra time last season, and they lost their nerve completely. I mean, they have had nightmare moments in the Champions League. If you think back to the 2019, they thought they'd won the league. They thought they'd won the game against Tottenham with Sterling. I think it was. They got the goal, but it was brought back for a VAR decision because one of the players was offside. You go back to the year of the COVID Champions League campaign, lost 3-1 to Leon, lost the Champions League final in 2021 to Chelsea by not starting Rodri. Big gaping hole in the middle of the field for Mason Mount to play the ball to Havertz, and he was in on goal. So they have had some very, very poor moments in the Champions League. But I think with Guardiola this season, he hasn't messed about tactically this season. He hasn't done something that's reinvented the wheel. He's just played his best side, his best team. Now he has done at the back, but up front, and particularly in midfield. He started Rodri. He started obviously Haaland, his best position. Gundogan to Kevin De Bruyne. That's the spine of the team. He hasn't messed around with that, and I don't think he should. Certainly not in the Champions League semi-final against Real Madrid at home. So I just think this year he might just get it right, and I think if they beat Real Madrid, they will beat Inter Milan, who will be probably in the final with them. And I think they'll do it. So that's the cause. I think Man City.
Yeah. Now, in fairness to all the team, we'll talk about the English clubs who won the European Cup. There's a certain match in either a quarter-final or semi-final you just have to win. That comes to it. You just have to do it. And there's no good talking about it, and you have to do it on the pitch and do it on the night when it matters, when the chips are down. So I think this is the game for Man City. They have to do it. It's now or never. So if they mess up this year, now we know they have plenty of money and they'll come back again next year, but ultimately you have to do it. And I think this is the night, or this Wednesday night, the 17th. It's Manchester City's time now or never, because they can't keep coming up short. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care how secure the manager is. We know he won't be sacked. He'll stay there as long as he wants. But ultimately, you've got to do it on the pitch. So I think Real Madrid will score. Real Madrid will score somehow. So they'll get 1 goal, maybe even 2. So Manchester City, can they get 2 goals? Can they be? It might even go to extra time. I don't know. But I'd possibly favour Manchester City. But they have to do it. The pressure is on. You go back to all the teams. Liverpool had to win big main games. You had Manchester United, remember '99, they had to go away, the famous match away to Juventus.
Yeah.
Nottingham Forest had a big game against the German champions Cologne, Aston Villa back in the day. All the teams who won, Liverpool in themselves in the noughties there. So then this is the big game for Man City. I think they can do it. But just a final comment, Noel, will they eventually they have to do it? Is this game Wednesday night the one they have to do it? This big team against Real Madrid.
I think they have to. With Haaland there now, he's got 36 league goals. I think he's got some like 52, 53 goals in all competitions. I think he is pitiful to their attack. They were saying last season when they fell short of the Champions League, they're saying they don't have a recognised striker. Well, they got one now. So I think if he gets the service, which he should be getting against Real Madrid, I think he'll score. But having said that, watch out for that battle between himself and Rudiger. There's a few clips of Rudiger's defending. He is absolutely stuck to him like glue, Paul. He will go through him. He will tackle him. He will do everything to wind him up. So if there's some battle to watch now on Wednesday night, if both of them are fit, and I could say they are, watch that battle between Rudiger and Haaland. He will absolutely wind him up, and he will not care 2 hoots if he cracks him down with a tackle. Rudiger is a winner. I know him. He was there at Chelsea. He will do anything to win a game.
Yeah.
So watch this space.
Yeah. Okay. Now we'll just look at the Europa Cup on Thursday night, second leg semi-final. So Bayer Leverkusen are home to Roma. Roma have a 1-0 win. I think Roma will go there and either get a 0-0 or a 1-1. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Paul. I think Roma. Roma at the 1-0, as I said, as we said last week, it could be a typical sort of Italian club mentality. Get a 1-0 win, and maybe for the return leg, as you said, get a 0-0 draw, 1-1 draw, and go through that way. Not the prettiest football, but as we said last week, with Mr. Mourinho doesn't do pretty, he does winning. And I think Leverkusen now with Xabi Alonso, they've some very good young players. Xabi Alonso is doing very well in the German league. He's done a fantastic job getting them to this stage. I just feel that it'll end up 1-1, and I think Roma will go through.
Yeah. Now, I suppose normally in Germany, the crowd are very passionate and they're really, I think I'm not sure about the Leverkusen stadium, a lot of the stadiums in Germany, they're really close to the pitch. They're kind of an old-fashioned field, so there'll be a great atmosphere there. Like aside in Rome and all in clubs in Italy, you have a running track. I'm not sure about Leverkusen ground, but a lot of the German grounds, it's like an old-fashioned stadium, but they're right on top of the pitch. And they'll be really up with their supporters in this semi-final. So they will push them all the way. But again, I have to agree with you. I have to go for Roma to get through. Now, second semi-final, Sevilla against Juventus, a 1-1 draw in Turin. So we're back to Sevilla. Again, no away goals rule there. So it's starting level. So Sevilla, great record in this competition. So, and the more than match Juventus Celeste. So it's a tough one to call.
Yeah, I actually have a slight fancy now for Sevilla. I wasn't that impressed by what I saw with Juventus, the clips I've seen. And it was in the last minute, I think it was like 96 minutes or something like that, Paul. They got the goal, Juventus. And Sevilla actually played quite well for the away team. I think Sevilla will probably just about have enough now with this, particularly now with the 1-1. I know the away goals rule doesn't count, but I just feel now Seville will just about edge it. I think they have a great record this competition. They won't get Champions League football from their league position. Juventus now have the security now of that 15 points being overturned, so they've got those points back in the Italian league. So the motivation is definitely on Sevilla to get into the Champions League by this competition. And if you ask me to call it, I'll just say 2-1 to Sevilla. Being the home advantage will be key. We saw it there with Manchester United. They absolutely blitzed United. The home support is fantastic in that stadium when they get going.
Yeah.
But I just think if you ask me to call it, I think a Roma-Sevilla final.
Yeah, I think I give Sevilla now the chance as well. How can you write off Juventus? We all know about their history away from home. They have this confidence and all that. That's all there. We're not writing them off. But Sevilla at home are very strong. I was impressed from the last day. They actually took the lead against Juventus, and they're so used to this competition. They really thrive on it. and they're just loving it. And it's their home form. The crowd really get behind them. We know the Spanish crowd are very passionate. They really get behind them and support them. So I think they'll probably win it. So I have to agree with you. We have to agree that it'll be a Roma Sevilla final. Okay, Noel, thank you very much for that, sure, and we'll speak again next week. Okay.
No problem, Paul.
Yeah, you can stay